YouTube? My name is rhianaB and welcome back to another review of Survivor Game Changers. So this one's probably going to be another quick episode because we didn't have that much going on in the beginning of the episode. It didn't really start picking up until middle toward the end, but let's go ahead and get started. So we start at the reward challenge because really the only thing they talked about beforehand was the aftermath of last tribal council, and Sarah owned up to flipping to get Debbie out. So that's really all that happened. So on to the reward challenge. The winning team was Brad, Zeke, Andrea, Aubrey, and Sarah, so 5 of them. And they went on this resort sort of a reward where they had food and they could stay the night in a nice bed. But that's not the real reason why I'm talking about this. Things started to kind of go downhill when Brad was trying to become buddy-buddy with Zeke. And this was really worrisome for Aubrey and especially Andrea, who's already like hanging on to Zeke by like a mere thread, and she's very concerned that he's probably gonna flip and Brad's gonna kind of bring himself in. So this is the point where Andrea starts to really think about probably need to get Zeke out again. So we do see, once they get back from the reward, we do see a really tight twosome with Sarah and Zeke, and the two of them have been really close throughout the entire game. And Sarah really wants to keep Zeke because she can trust Zeke and vice versa, Zeke trusts Sarah. So they come with the idea to maybe go up against Cirie and Andrea by maybe bringing in Brad and Troyzan, which sounds great for Brad because he was trying to get himself back into some numbers since Debbie was voted out last tribal. And then already we're at the immunity challenge, and Andrea wins individual immunity for the second time this season, and on the chopping block we have Zeke and we have Sierra. So the big question and the main theme for the entire episode was, is it smart to get rid of someone from your alliance when you have the numbers? And honestly though, that's kind of a touchy subject to talk about because it all depends on the situation that you are in. Do you feel like you are in an alliance with someone who you can't trust, that you want to get them out even when you have the numbers? Or do you stick with your original alliance or the alliance you have set right now and get rid of everyone else who's on the bottom? And honestly, usually I've always would lean toward, if there's someone in your alliance that's a threat to you, go ahead and get them out. I think in a season like this though, it's smart to have your numbers because everyone is just going back and forth between alliances and alliances. It just keeps changing all the time. So it's kind of hard to talk about because it just depends on the situation you're in and who you're playing against. So talking about the numbers, Andrea wants to set her plan into motion to get Zeke out. So she recruits Cirie, Sierra, and Aubrey, which makes for 4 votes. And then she starts kind of talking to Sarah, who was kind of sort of in their alliance, but is kind of, Sarah again is still in the middle, so she goes back and forth between certain people. And then also maybe trying to get Michaela in. Of course, Sarah wants to defend Zeke since he's a part of her alliance, and she talks to Michaela and Aubrey and trying to see what they can possibly do to maybe save Zeke and who to target next. And they do go towards Sierra since she was an instigator in the other majority alliance. And I think it is smart I thought that was a smart plan to get her out. She's definitely a threat. And you have a little moment with Michaela and Sarah talking about, do we want to risk getting someone out from our own alliance, or do we stick with our original set and get rid of the smaller numbers? And I agree that when Michaela said that it leaves more wiggle room for them to make other moves, which it does at the end of the day. So basically we go to tribal council and we're really looking at both Michaela and Sarah's votes since they are in the middle of the Zeke and Sierra deciding factor here. So we go to tribal and the vote did not go the way I thought it was going to go, and Ty ends up being on the chopping block, and I don't know if that was some sort of a throwaway vote. I'm not 100% sure. Sierra, I think, only got 2 votes, only got 2 or 3 votes. But sadly, one of my favorite players, Zeke, ends up getting the most votes, and he is voted out and is our newest jury member. I am so upset because I really liked Zeke. I was rooting for Zeke. I liked him back in Millennials versus Gen X. I definitely liked him this season. And I don't know, it's like, I really like him. He's a really good player. He's a smart, strategic player. And he's a really great social player as well. So I wanted him to go to the end because I thought he could do really well and I thought he could win. But he's gone, and I'm really, really sad because I like him a lot. I like Zeke a lot. And it's just sad to see him not see him on the show anymore. So that's really all that happened in this episode. Not that much. It just kind of focused on the one aspect of alliances, and do you want to get rid of someone from your alliance now, or do you wait till later once all the bottom is gone? That was the main topic and idea of this episode. So that didn't really leave that much to talk about otherwise. So looking at next week, we do have a possibility of an all-girls alliance, which has worked out in the past and other times not so much. But I think in a season like this where there are a lot of strong female players, both in athleticism, strategic, and social play, that may actually work out if they can work together, and that's going to be the big deciding factor here. There was also possibly an alliance with Sierra, Sarah, and I believe Ty and Troyzan. It only showed for like a few seconds, so I could be wrong in who I saw. But it looked like there may be a new alliance that Sierra's trying to form here, which is why I say they should have gotten her out, because now she's going to really be motivated to find a brand new alliance, like start from scratch, shuffle up all the players, and pick out the people who she thinks is going to help her. So we could have a new power alliance, but as we've been seeing in the past few episodes, we don't know how long those are going to last. So we'll have to wait and see how that goes. As far as vote off wise, I still think that Sierra is on more of the top end of the chopping block, because she still is a very smart and she's a really great strategic player, and that's one thread to get her out. But now, if she doesn't get this alliance together, there's a good chance that she's probably going to go home, because people recognize she can form alliances pretty easily. So I would say Sierra is there. Also, I would put Andrea up there, because not only has she won 2 individual immunity challenges this season, but also she instigated the vote against Zeke, which means to everyone else, if they see this, that she can get people together and vote her way. She's very, very smart and clever, and you feel like you can trust her. So I think that may be a couple of notches against Andrea at this point. So I would definitely put her up on the chopping block for next week as well. So there you guys go. That is this week's episode of Survivor Game Changers. If you liked the video, please give it a thumbs up. Leave me comments down below. Tell me what you thought of this week's episode. I would love to read them. And if you want to see my future videos or videos I've already done, go ahead and hit subscribe and hit the little bell icon so you can be notified when my videos come out. That's all I have for you guys today. Until the next video, bye! Mwah.